Hi guys, so I think I'm going to quickly try out this slimline envelope die set from LDRS. It says LDRS Creative, and people ask me what the LDRS stands for. I believe back in the day they would go by Little Darlings, if not Little Darling Rubber Stamp. And then Little Darlings, if you're looking it up on HSN, for some reason they have a different way for you to find them. I think yeah, I was on HSN, if you look up Little Darlings, it pulls up like 2 of the items they have, but I would put LDRS and see what comes up if you were just searching. But otherwise, I'll have the links for this specific thing in the description box, and that would be an affiliate link, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items through that link. Because obviously I have this here. I'm just saying, like, later on, if you're just like, oh, I'm curious to see what Little Darlings has, LDRS. I would type it both ways because you find different things that way. Or on HSN, you can always go to the craft page, and then on the left side it says, like, if you want to sort by company name or however, and you'll find it there. So I was looking at this, I was like, okay, let's get going. And I realized you need really big cutting plates. Obviously, this is 9.2 inches in length, or at least something that will cut a slimline type card. And so I thought, oh, I'll use my marquee stuff instead of having to bring out my Empress larger plates or go to my Gemini, the big machine. And it fits right inside this. Like, you could probably cut it. I can see where it will cut because the cut line's here, here, and just on that edge there, So it'll cut it. And you only need one of these. You're going to cut 2 of the flaps because that's going to make a flap and the other part of the envelope, the bottom part. And then you need 2 of these little side flaps. And then you have these cute little, decorative pieces that you can use. So, in looking at it, this 4.2, 9.2, what that measurement is 4 1/8 inch by 9 1/8 of an inch is what it is. This is what 4.2 and point, just how it is. I could show you on my ruler real quick here. So I'm just going to cut a piece of paper, so that way I don't have to get another die or even try and, or not another die, another way to cut this. I mean, I lined it right up and it looks like exactly on the 1/8. Let me see, 1/8, quarter, half, yeah, it's an 1/8. And then this other longer guy, the other one, fits in here perfectly. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut 2 of this in my marquee. And then be done with that. And there's a couple ways you can make the envelope, and as you can see on the back, it's real easy. I mean, there's not walking you through anything, but it's super easy. You need one of these, you need 2 of the flap, you need 2 of the side, and you can orient it this way or this way. So I will do both. Why not? So let me grab some paper and we'll try it out. Okay guys, so I did pick a pattern paper on purpose just so we can talk about that, but you know what? It's not gonna matter because remember the other day I showed you guys how to make envelopes basically with nothing, just a scoring tool and, glue or whatever. And it only took 1 piece of 8.5 by 11 paper to make your slimline in either direction, however you want it. If you want it, oriented in this direction, long or short. I think she's calling them long or short. Anyway, top opening versus side opening, let's say, okay. And you're going to have to cut away so much because of the dies, the way they were made, that I'm not even going to talk about that. But I am going to use this one for the long envelope because to me the pattern is oriented this way. You know what I'm saying? It's not really oriented side to side. So if I did the envelope this way, that bottom piece, the pattern's looking to me like not the right way. Does that make sense? And this is 8.5 by 11 paper because that's what most of us have. I think if you had a 12 by 12, you might have a different view of this. You are going to need 2 pieces of paper because there's no way you're going to get all those things cut. Oh, that's interesting. This is brand new paper. And anyway, and get this done. It's just, you need 2 pieces of paper, okay? So, that's fine. And then I grabbed some just basic colored paper for the kind of regular envelope that we're used to. So, again, I'm going to take my cutting tool, just my guillotine, I guess. Hopefully it'll be accurate this time, but I'm going to cut 4 1/8 by 9 1/8 for both of them. Okay, I'm just going to cut a base. I'm not going to use this die. And then I will take this other die. I don't want to destroy this wrapper, so hold on. I'll be right back. So remember, we're going to cut our own piece. That's the base, at least I am. This middle piece here. And then the other ones we're going to cut. So again, you're going to pay attention. What are we doing? So let's say for the regular envelope, it doesn't really matter because my paper's one solid color. I can cut like this. You can't really go this way, obviously, on an 8.5 by 11 because it's not going to work. So you have to orient your dies this way. And if you want to save some paper, at least for this part of it, I would put it over here. And unfortunately, I put cuticle oil on my hands, so this got a little bit of cuticle oil right here. And then we need 2 of these, and we need 2 of these. I was trying to see if I can fit them here, but you know what? You cannot. Let me see. Once that's cut, this is, I mean, I have it oriented all the way to the bottom. So what I would say is cut these little flat pieces from the piece that you cut the base, the 9 1/8 by 4 1/8 piece. Hope that makes sense. And then you'll have paper left over, obviously, that you can cut these 2 flaps. So you still need 2 pieces, but you're going to orient them however you want. So on this one, again, super basic, I'm just going to cut them out. So I'm going to trim this down. Actually, I'll do it with you guys, because if you still want to keep this other piece of paper, you can use like a guillotine and just cut it, the excess, so you can use it for something else, maybe some die cut words or something. So I'm getting it pretty close to this already. And then I'll bring over, oopsie, this guy. And again, I always give a tip to try to tilt it just a little bit sideways so that your machine doesn't have a speed bump right there. You can do that with any machine, any die cutting machine. If you have something that has kind of like a long, flat edge, you kind of want to tilt it just so that the rollers or whatever have time to kind of hit each item instead of bump and just bumping over and not cutting, you know? All right, so we have that one. I'm gonna cut another one of these. When I come back, I'll have the base cut and then the 2 flaps cut out too, and I'll be right back. Okay, so let's bring our pieces back here. We do have a faint score line there. I suppose if you wanted to score it better, you can put it on your board and score it again. It looks like it's about a 1/2 inch score, but I'm gonna fold it now just because I don't want to mess with it later when we stick it down, you know. So there's that one. I'll do the same thing for the other one, so they're both scored. And then these 2 guys also have a score line. It's better. That one's etched a lot nicer than the first set. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm gonna lay this out just like the way she has it there. And so as far as the base, you know, I cut this with my guillotine, so there's always a front, right side and a wrong side. Just like when you use a die, there's a side that looks nicer cut into than like the rough cut side. So this is the back of how I cut it, right? I cut into this side. So I'm gonna put this down. I'm gonna lay it out just as she has it on here, just so that you guys can see that. So when I say she, I'm talking about Angie, I suppose. If she's the one that puts this together, she's the owner there, creator of LDRS. And I forgot her name the other day. I kept saying Annie, and I was like, I was close. But yeah, Angie. So here we go. So we have our pieces. So I was planning on cutting another envelope out of this one, but really we needed it just to talk about the design, like the position of the paper, right? As far as this is not a good option if you want it to go this way because the die is larger than this, right? So we were talking about that. But if you have a 12 by 12 that has a pattern that's, you know, just formatted in this way, yeah, for sure use it. Or I guess it would be landscape, right? And you want portrait for like the long envelope, right? This one here. So that kind of 8.5 by 11 would definitely work for that kind of a portrait design paper. Okay, so we're gonna glue these down, and you know, all she says is here, adhere, 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 adhere. And then obviously the folds, right? We're folding, which we already did. We scored all these things. And I did that on purpose because I suppose you could just kind of match it up and then glue it and then fold it later, but it's nice to have an edge that you can see what you're doing. So let me grab some glue. And from here, basically, you know, we're gonna glue this down. You know, this is what you're thinking about. We're putting these guys and this guy. And that's why it's basically the same as if you did an envelope in this orientation or the long envelope. You're just gonna glue these things down in a different manner, right? So, you know, it's up to you how you want to do it. If it was a long envelope, you're going to glue here and leave this flap open. And if you want it like a standard regular envelope, you're going to glue these other 3 and leave this open, right? So I'm just going to do the standard envelope. So let's start gluing these guys down. I'm going to start with the small edges just because it seems like that would be easier, but who knows. And really with something like this, you want to get that glue right at the edge, especially this edge, the edge that's going to be right over here. I'm not putting too much glue. Hopefully you see that. And this is Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive. I always have links to whatever glues I use because that's what people are most curious of, I think. Especially the 3D glue gel. And so I like to use Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive because it dries really fast as you're using it. Like that's pretty much already set up. But it also dries fast, so you have to be very careful. The pros and cons are that it dries fast and that it dries fast. So anyhow, try to get it right on the edge, and you know what, maybe burnishing it with this would help a little bit. Just let those edge pieces look nice. You know, there's a junction there, so what are you gonna do? I mean, that's what it's gonna look like. And then on this side too. And you know, this is fine. It's cutting my envelope. It's a nice little envelope, hopefully, by the time we're done. I really like the method that I was showing because you only use one piece of paper. But if you have maybe dexterity issues, or you're not real confident on your scoring and you feel like, you know, just using a scoring tool isn't going to get it as accurate for you, then this is definitely a good option, right? So there's that. And again, you don't have to, you know, just depending on, you're going to do all this part the same. And then after that, we'll talk about how you want to stylize it a little bit. If you want, you know, the envelope to be regular like this, or like one of these skinny ones. You can also have taken these little edge dies and trimmed off, like let's say you're going to do this top opening one. So you want to put a little scallop edge on there. You can definitely do that. If you want to do it across the whole thing, you're going to have to repeat it. So you're going to have to line it up. There is this little dash line that's super cute. So it just makes like a little decorative dash, however you want to use it. All right, so let's put these guys on. And this one makes me the most nervous, just so it looks nice. Really want to get it up on that edge, the glue. Not over the edge. And this one I'm going to be careful because, again, I'm using a Deluxe Adhesive. So I'm starting on the one edge, bringing it down towards the other, and just making sure that we're getting it right on that edge. I have a little bit too much one way than the other. Let me see if I can move it at all. Yep, Deluxe Adhesive. Nope, it's down. That is done with now. If you're afraid of that, I would say use something slipperier like Zip Dry, even though it dries really fast. It still has a little give because it's kind of like the consistency of this stuff. This is my favorite right here. The all-purpose glue, the Call, because it has quite a bit of give. It's kind of slimy. I mean, for lack of a better word, it is slimy. And you can still kind of mess with things. Okay, I'm going to stick the other one down. And then from here, that's where you can kind of stylize it, whatever it is you want. Again, really get that glue on the edge. Maybe I would use the all-purpose one next time. This one wants to dry right away. Where if you kind of rub around, then you're going to start spreading the glue, and it just helps you get in the little nooks and crannies, you know? Again, I'm trying to see where I'm at on this one. That looks good. I'm trying to push out towards the edge. After you do this, I guess this is when you're like, okay, which one looks better? Which flap looks better for it to be the top part of my envelope? You know, oh, this one looks, you know, nicer. Maybe this one looks nicer. But either way. So, envelope that opens at the top, on the side. I guess it's the side, I don't know. We're going to put glue here, tape it, glue it down, put glue here, glue it down. And now you have this opening. I don't know where my envelope is that I mocked up the other day. Because you see this space here? Let me grab a card. Oh, here, I still have a card sitting here. So this is a slimline card. I like my 8.5 by 3.5. So let's say this is the card you're going to put in here. It's still going to peek out a little bit. But for my example, I cut it down quite a bit. Oh, you know what it's getting stuck on? Yeah, I'll say the junctions there. Okay, there we go. Once this is glued down, that wouldn't be a problem. But see, I don't see the card at all, right? So you kind of have to fish it out. When I did my example, I went down about a 1/2 inch and then from there to here, so that way the card is kind of peeking out so the person can see it and pull it out easily. But you know, however you want. And then seal it up however you want. If that's glue, repositionable, double-sided, whatever it is that you want to glue it down, a sticker, you know, you're good to go. So that's that one. Otherwise, I suppose if you want a regular envelope, we're gonna glue this on top of this. So that's what I'm gonna do today. And I'm just gonna put the glue as right here, because I don't know how high this is exactly going, and I know it cuts off on the side too, so I don't want to put too much glue. Let's see where we're at. Yeah, not bad. Suppose you can put the glue on the flap too and just kind of judge that you're about here and put the glue out this way. But that's that. So there's your envelope. So I just showed you about being on the side, and let's say this is this guy. So yeah, that would be my thoughts, is that you know, if you just like using dies, then this is something for you, and it's gonna make nice crisp lines if you don't mind doing a little cutting, and like I showed you guys on this one. Also, the sizing's a little bit different. So this is definitely like a standard 8 business size envelope, and mine is more custom to a slimline card. It's just a little bit bigger than 3.5 by 8.5, so it gives you some room, you know, if you want to see the differences. So there's that one, it has plenty of room, and this one's just a little more snug, and the card's just right in there, you know, however you like. Yeah, so I think that's it. All right, guys, I do have the like I mentioned, I don't know when I mentioned, the slimline set from LDRS that they came out with. This right here. But I wanted this video just to be about using the envelopes, but really cute. And I'll tell you really quickly, I think I measured it in the haul video, but let me measure it now. Again, this is available on HSN. I don't know if LDRS has it on their site yet. It is just a little bit smaller than 3 1/2. I would say just over 3 1/4. So it mats real nice into the size that I like. And yeah, just about 8 1/4. So it mats right into your standard like slimline 3.5 by 8.5. I know some people I think like 4 by 8.5 or 4 by 9. It just depends on what you like to do. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye now.